In the wake of COVID shutdowns, even the smallest Bible churches scrambled to learn how to do something they've never done before: live streaming. How-to blog posts and videos dotted the Christian content landscape, and pastors began to don yet another hat that seminary never prepared them for: Chief Technical Officer. But as weeks wore on into months, everyone was fatigued, not just of live streams, but of the entire highly online life most of us found ourselves stuck in. Within weeks, a new sort of blog post began to materialize: calls to shut down the live stream. Even the New York Times had an article about the bad parts of live stream ecclesiology. Thus, COVID accelerated an enormous internecine debate. Should churches have digital ministries? I even participated in a debate myself. During that debate, I highlighted that a live stream isn't a digital ministry at all.
You cannot watch a live stream and tell me you're having the same experience as standing shoulder to shoulder with someone.
Live streams are skeuomorphic. In other words, they take an event in the real analog world and try to replicate it digitally. There's nothing new about skeuomorphic design. Early iPhones made their contacts look like a Rolodex. The idea is that your knowledge of the analog tool, a Rolodex, will help you use the digital tool. But skeuomorphic designs are always temporary. Eventually, the digital design becomes more native to the device itself and less tethered to its analog. But why? First, because they're a learning tool. Once the learning is finished, the tool is no longer needed. Second, because skeuomorphic designs are clunky. They never feel natural, and if the design doesn't change, users will transition to more updated options that aren't hampered by real-world analog. The problem with live streams in 2020 was that no one needed a lesson on how to consume Christian content online. They served no real educational purpose. Worse yet, even the best-produced live streams never felt native. They looked and felt different than YouTube videos. The experience of worshiping with them in your living room was always clunky at best. In Amusing Ourselves to Death, Neil Postman rails against the TV preachers of his day, pointing out that they put church on TV, and by doing so, they fundamentally changed the nature and the content of church. They emptied it of all sacrality, seriousness, and substantiveness. He was right. Moving something from one medium to another always does that. But here's what the TV preachers got that live streams don't. They produced church for TV. At the end of the day, live streams only capture an event produced for in-person consumption. The person watching the stream on YouTube is always secondary to the person witnessing it in the sanctuary. For that, I think we should all be thankful. Because the minute we try to recreate church online in a medium that's native to the internet, well, church ceases to be church. Worse yet, there will be inevitable slippage as the norms of the internet church, whatever the heck that is, begin to influence the analog church. Postman wrote this: "There's no doubt, in other words, that religion can be made entertaining. The question is, by doing so, do we destroy it as an authentic object of culture? And does the popularity of a religion that employs the full resources of vaudeville drive more traditional religious conceptions into manic and trivial displays?" I think that's a really good question, and the answer is probably yes. Or it would be if it were possible to somehow internetize a church service. But I don't think it is. There's something about the collective embodied gathering of people for worship in song and preaching that fundamentally does not lend itself to the internet as a medium. Even the TV preachers emulated talk show formats more than church itself. And perhaps for that reason, they never succeeded in doing much more than making pastors roll their eyes. In fact, the early days of Christian live streaming, I'm thinking about Mars Hill, well, they were probably the best days because back then people weren't comparing Mark Driscoll to Mr. Beast or Dude Perfect. They're just different. So I think the entire live stream debate is a lame duck debate. It doesn't hurt much to have one. I don't really see the problem of providing people access to songs and preaching while on vacation or while stuck sick inside their house or in a nursing home. But I'm also not sure that not having one will do much harm. It will probably make it harder to attract new attendees who want to dip their toes into the water before they visit. But I doubt existing attendees will care too much. A digital ministry, if you're going to have one, can't be skeuomorphic. It must be native to the digital platform. And the minute you go native, you must reflect on the nature of how that medium changes the message and the content itself, lest the new medium become a new message.